Cuba Gooding Jr. had one of the craziest falls in Hollywood because he fell off not once, but twice. And now he's pretty much blacklisted in Hollywood because nobody wants to work with him anymore. And now he's come out to expose who really killed his career, and trust, you are not going to believe who he really blames. So it's not exactly rare to see celebs fall off in Hollywood, but Cuba Gooding has to be one of the wildest cases of celebs losing it all and falling off pretty hard. He was Hollywood's it boy back in the 90s, and everyone thought that he was going to be one of the biggest black actors. Think of Will Smith and how he was everyone's golden boy before the whole entanglement and Oscar drama, and that's exactly what everybody expected from Cuba, but unfortunately that never happened. While Cuba had already made a name for himself in the early 90s, he became even more famous in 1996 when he played Rod Tidwell in the movie Jerry Maguire, and he won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in 1997. At the time, a lot of people felt like the Oscars were biased in his favor because there were other people who deserved it more than him. But hey, he won and that was that. Now, having an Oscar gives a crazy amount of bragging rights because it is one of the top 4 awards in the world, so winning is a very big deal. Apart from the bragging rights, there is another reason actors are desperate to win an Oscar, and it's the fact that their rates shoot up and they can start charging a lot of money for roles. Winning an Oscar earns them a space in a super elite group of actors, and it pretty much means that they've cemented their place in Hollywood because they can start charging as high as double or even triple what they were charging before winning. It was even more special for Cuba because not many black actors were winning Oscars back then. So when Cuba won his Oscar, everyone thought that he had finally made his way to the top. You know, getting the best roles, making a lot of money, and stuff like that. But unfortunately, things didn't work out that way for Cuba because his life started falling apart after his Oscar win. After winning the award, he was a hotcake in the industry and everybody wanted to have him in their movies. But my man Cuba let all the attention get to his head and he decided to be more picky with the kind of movie role he accepted. There's nothing wrong with being picky because all top actors are insanely selective of what movies they decide to do. So Cuba was not out of line here. But the problem was that he was consistently picking the bad movies and passing on the great ones. I mean, how on earth are you being picky and still end up picking trash? Like, boy, be for real. If y'all don't know how poor his taste in roles was, I'm gonna break it down so you understand. He refused leading roles in hit movies like Hotel Rwanda, Amistad, Collateral, and even the lead role in The Last King of Scotland. Sources revealed that the reason he turned down The Last King of Scotland was that he didn't want to play a bad guy in movies, which was weird because he's an actor and he should be able to play any role a director wants him to play. Well, the role went to Forrest Whitaker and he even won an Oscar for the role, which meant that Cuba lost out on possibly winning his second Oscar just because he didn't want to play a bad guy. At this point, directors had gotten tired of his attitude, and even though he had a coveted Oscar, they slowly stopped offering him roles because they didn't want to deal with the BS. What Cuba didn't understand was that he was not the only Oscar-winning actor in Hollywood, and that there were even lots of actors without Oscars who were good at their job and would accept the role for less than what he would charge. Also, he took the picky thing way too far to the point where people kind of gave up on him. He let his ego get to his head and he ended up coming across as a diva who was way too difficult to lock down. He admitted to knowing that he was being difficult, saying, "I had all these big directors offering me roles and I read their scripts and said, I don't think this part is right for me. And what happens is if you offend enough big directors, you get taken off of their list." For me, it was always about protecting the sanctity of the golden statue because I felt I needed to show people that I can do more. I can do better. Well, he soon realized that he was quickly going broke because protecting the Oscar ain't gonna put food on the table. He was living a good life after his win because he bought houses for his mom as well as his mother-in-law, bought himself fancy cars, was flying around in private jets, and generally just living the life. But the offers stopped rolling in and he was quickly growing broke. He spent the next couple of years being desperate enough to take any role that he got, but he never really got a break until he got the role of O.J. Simpson in the limited series American Crime Story, The People vs. O.J. Simpson. And guess what? He even got nominated for an Emmy for an outstanding lead actor for this role. But then again, his career nosedived and is probably never going to be the same again. First off, his wife of 20 years left him and filed for divorce, and rumor had it that she was tired of being cheated on by Cuba. And according to several sources, he had started cheating on her 3 days after they got married. After his divorce, well, his behavior got worse, and this is when he started to face several accusations of being a creep toward many women. He has had more than 30 women come forward to accuse him of being creepy with them, and if that isn't crazy, then I don't know what is. The allegations range from forcibly kissing a woman in a hotel in Miami to inappropriately touching a woman. The woman clearly didn't consent to this, and she accused him of being a creep. Another one of his victims came forward to talk about her encounter with him, and she said, at about midnight on March 1st, Cuba Gooding Jr. waltzed into the bar where we were at and proceeded to harass a number of women there and punch a man for attempting to take a picture of Cuba receiving a lap dance. The harassment occurred when women would be taking pictures with him. He would grab butt cheeks during the picture taking, and when women reacted negatively to that, he would proceed to either touch women's breasts or tell them that he loved them. He told me he loved me because his wife's name is also Sarah. Well, he was finally arrested in 2019. I'm not sure if many of you guys followed the story, but I'm pretty sure you're going to remember the arrest because the video became a viral meme. He ended up taking a plea deal and his conviction was pled down to a violation. However, his lawyer came out to defend him, claiming that Cuba was just misunderstood. He said he's very outgoing. He's very friendly. He's very jovial. I guess the word is sometimes he's frisky, but he's not inappropriate. Yeah, it's insulting that this man thinks that we're going to believe that 30 women all misunderstood Cuba. Like, take several seats, sir. You're not fooling us. Now, many of y'all would agree that Cuba ruined his own career, but if you ask the man, he has a whole different answer. According to him, he was treated unfairly by the industry. He believed there are many other actors, especially white actors, who have done far worse things than he has, yet they are still thriving. He believed that he was let down by the industry because he didn't let them control him and they didn't want to see a black man succeed. Now, the Hollywood elites controlling the black artists and then ruining their career has been a very debated topic, and many people like Cat Williams and Kanye West believes that this conspiracy theory is actually true.
There aren't that many conspiracy theories anymore because we found out that all conspiracy theories, there's a nugget of truth in there. It came from somewhere.
You're out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize.
A reaction from this one fan said, "I'm so sad that this happened. He was in American Horror Story and American Crime Story and he was amazing in it." But there are so many people that believe Cuba is to be blamed for his own downfall. Someone commented, "Cuba Gooding Jr. is that creep who always asks where his hug is at and tries to separate you from your friends when you're out. What an absolute POS." Another person said, "Not surprised that Cuba Gooding Jr. is a creep. He played his character radio too darn well. Always knew something had to be up with him." It's crazy how Cuba got a very rare second chance in Hollywood, but then it all went downhill again. But do you guys think that he's really as innocent as he claimed? Or do you think he's the one to be blamed? Also, I want to know if y'all think his career can come back from this. So drop your thoughts in the comments below and check out this other video that's even messier than this.